Welcome back to How to Souls. My name is Rach and today we're going to continue with our walkthrough of Dark Souls 3. So last time we fully explored Firelink Shrine, so it's time to head to our first actual area, the High Wall of Lothric. So Dark Souls 3 is a little bit different to Dark Souls 1 and 2 in that we have to use the bonfire to sit and warp to areas. This is a little bit like Demon Souls, so I quite like it, but yeah, it's a little bit different. It leads to Dark Souls 3 feeling a lot less interconnected, in my opinion, but God, is this area absolutely gorgeous. Big Anne Orlando vibes, right? I just love a giant castle. What is really, really cool is quite often in these games, in this whole series, if you can see something in the distance, chances are you can probably go there. And in this case, you can see kind of like a circular window just in the distance there. Yeah, we are going there at the very end of this episode. And what is inside there? Oh, who knows? Probably literally everyone, but yeah, we'll find out. But welcome to the High Wall of Lothric. This is our first actual area, and in my opinion, is very difficult. If you were to compare this to the Forest of Fallen Giants, or even better, the Undead Burg, this is a wee bit stepping up in difficulty, in my opinion, and it contributes to Dark Souls 3 feeling more difficult than the other two. But with just a few very simple hints and tips, you'll see it's actually not that bad. So when we light our first bonfire, there is two options available to us. We've got the left path, which we have gone down, and the right path. The right path we'll go to later. It does all connect up, but for now, we're going to start off going down the right path. We're going to take out these little nerds. If you want to concentrate on the one with the lantern as soon as possible before he can do his little rally. He like rallies everyone. Everybody, I know you're all chilling, but get up and fight. So if you leave him, everyone else does become aggressive and runs at you. So we're going to focus on getting him first. A couple of things to pick up around here. Luckily, we don't have to deal with any dogs yet, but they're coming. They're all on the other side. If we stick to this wall here, rather than going down, we're going to go up. There's a couple of things just to pick up here. We've got another lantern guy just to focus on and quickly rush to get him down. This is going to be a walkthrough that shows you how to do everything in this area, including a couple more difficult sort of mini-boss type lads. So don't worry if you're just looking to sort of like ease in to Dark Souls 3. There'll be a couple things that I say, oh, skip this if you like. But we will be killing them because Charlie's a heckin' babe and does kill everything for us. So up here, this guy is actually alive, so I'll get the drop on him before he gets the drop on you. There's some binoculars. Not really that useful for us. Fun, I suppose. We could use them to look at, I don't know, faraway dragons. Speaking of dragon, if you go around the back of this dragon, here's our path to progress down here. If we don't, just drop down the ledge, turn around, and here is some gold pine resin. So very, very important. This is going to make our first boss fight, well, second boss fight technically, much, much easier. We'll take out this guy just here. So this is remember I said there was a path to go up and a path to go down, so this is if we'd went down, so we've not missed anything here. There's a guy hiding behind the boxes here. Charlie's going to play with him just a little bit, sort of tease him. If you go near, he will break through, and there we go. That's him down. So you always want to basically, I mean, this goes for anything. You probably already know this, but just you want to move through areas like nice and slow. You want to have your sound on, if possible. Headphones is ideal because a lot of the time you can hear enemies coming before you can see them. So that is, I mean, it's obvious, but then you'd be surprised how many times I've thought, oh, I'll just play this and then not had my sound on. And it's like so much more difficult. There's a nice wee longsword there and a nice wee soul to pick up. Here's quite a tricky area. On the left here, we have a guy with a spear and a shield. Oh, our worst enemy for this build. But as always, we're going to try and circle behind to get a backstab or just get an open, weak spot. And there's a guy on the right there with a fiery, bolty, crossbowy type thing. So these guys could give us a bit of issue, but like, fortunately, we know knowledge is power, and we know that there's a great big heckin' dragon up there just waiting for some roasty toasty. My Discord's going off, sorry. It's distracting me. Some roasty toasty times. Marshmallows, etc. There we go. So all we have to do is sort of trigger the dragon, just sort of tease him and back off. And then we go down here, sort of tease, like I said, this side and back off. Whoop, watch out for the bolts. There we go. That's an easy way of taking care of them. Unfortunately now though, like, you know, we also need to get past here, so you do need to wait for the right moment. We're just sort of trying to like tease him so that he breathes down here, get to a certain point and then run back. We're just sort of watching him just to make sure when he makes a move, we're ready to go. Okay, so as soon as he starts breathing down here on the right, we're going to run up to the left and be ready to, as soon as this fire starts dissipating, we're going to run straight ahead. Under the dragon, there is a door we can go through. As soon as we get sort of like close to the dragon, we are safe. So don't worry about all those shinies. We'll get them in a bit. We're going to go through this door here. Down here is our first mimic. There's a couple of ways that you can tell that a chest is a mimic. The first one, the chain. Instead of being a nice round sort of cuddle, it's sort of out at an awkward, untidy angle. The second, the chest is literally heckin' breathing. So if you notice one of those two things, congrats, you've spotted yourself a mimic. If you do try and open it without, you know, sort of stopping to think about the situation, it's an automatic one shot. Like at this stage in the game, there's no way you're surviving that. So don't open it, simply don't. What Charlie's doing here, which I think is a very valid strat, is going through a bit of a rage room and destroying everything that she could possibly get stuck on in this area, just in case, because the mimic is a zippy bugger. He'll be spinning and cartwheeling around the whole room, so we'll get a couple hits on him just as he wakes up and back off. That is a grab attack. If that, you know, connects with you, grabs you, it has the same effect of if you had opened the chest. It is an insta-kill, it's a grab, it's a bite, you're dead, you get eaten. So try not to get grabbed. Mimic, it does hit hard as a truck, particularly with his kicks. He's got like a sort of roundhouse kick and then one big sort of kick as well. The one that flies across the room at you is absolutely nuts. But just like anything, you want to like dodge, hit back, dodge, hit back. Just sort of take it slow, one hit at a time and strafe around him. Tried and tested method for pretty much everything is just strafe around it and hit and wait and hit and wait. He drops a deep battle axe, which is, I guess, your first quite good strength weapon if you were fancying something other than the twin blades. If you're maybe preferring to use a shield, for example, the deep battle axe is a solid choice for a right hand weapon. Opening this door up here, it takes us to this little side corridor with this knight. Now, if you stand here and just let him walk by, he does nothing to hurt no one. So we're just going to let him go about his business for now. The knight is walking down to an area where the dragon was breathing down, just to show you how this all does connect. It's actually a really, really good first area, this. I feel bad for bad-mouthing it, saying that, you know, Dark Souls 3 as a whole doesn't feel particularly interconnected to me, but it does have these proper, like, individual, wonderfully designed, interconnected, lots of shortcuts, levels. Very cool. This is our second bonfire. Now, I always get the two bonfires in this area mixed up because I feel like they both look the same, but this is the second one. We're going to use this as our checkpoint from now on. We haven't rested because, of course, that would respawn all the enemies, but we have lit it, which means if we die, we will respawn there and not back at the other one, because that would be a huge big waste of time. So light that bonfire. Now we're going to take our chances fighting this very polite chap who was sitting waiting for us to be ready before coming back up the stairs. These knights, these Lothric Knights, they are probably the reason why, in my opinion, High Wall of Lothric is quite a difficult first area for a Souls game. The shields, actually, it's all in the shield. It's all in the hips. I watched flippin' Happy Gilmore 2 the other night. I'm sorry. It's all in the shield. Our method, as with the twin blades, we're going to try and get a backstab so that when he's down, we've got a nice opening to get a couple of hits in. Unfortunately, we can't one cycle him. We are going to try and get another backstab, which does prove to be quite difficult on this occasion. They're just so difficult for our build because we are light armor, or in this case, no armor. We're taking a lot of chip damage, which in our case with no armor is more than just chip. It's actually quite a lot of damage. But we have enough Estus flasks, so do you know what? This is actually so funny because we got hit the tiniest little bit, fell down the tiniest little stair, which counted as this big old stun. That was disgusting. But yeah, as you can see, he's just like, he's hitting forward, he's hitting backward, he's hitting left and right and over the Irish Sea. Ugh. I've been listening to nursery rhymes. God, these commentaries are going to get more and more heckin' like parent orientated, aren't they? The older my child gets. Finally, the Lothric Knight goes down. They do have a chance to drop their armor. This one hasn't on this occasion, but there's ways you can increase your luck if you did want to look like one of them. I think it's a pretty nice set. So down here in this sort of tower, we've got these sort of thief-like characters which do throw knives at you. So we're just going to make sure we separate them. We've got one running up the stairs. There's a little shiny we can grab on this, whatever you call this, overhanging piece of broken flooring. I don't know, rafters? So we're going to grab that. English is really hard for me today. All right, and here's one just like aside from the crowd that we can plunge onto. That was absolutely beautiful. There is another one hiding in the shadows that Charlie does forget about. Here he is, I see him. He's getting up there now. This is another reason why I said it's good to have headphones in, because a lot of the time you can hear stuff before you can see it, and it can save your life. We're very low on health here, and we've got a couple of options for where to go, but I think she's just going to show you. Hopefully we don't die, although I know we don't die, so don't worry, we don't die. But you don't need to go down here. Basically, I'm just going to show you where this goes, and also a really cool way to take out this halberd nerd. So if you sort of tease him over here and run up the ladder, you're obviously like perfectly safe up here. He does come and try and, like, you know, he's like, maybe I can reach her from here. And he hangs around down here. So you can kind of get a plunging attack if you fall and sort of turn round. Like so you'll see us doing just now. Which does a good bit of damage. And also you do get that stun, and we're able to get behind him and finish him off with a combo. This is a big reason why the Sellsword Twin Blades are so good, because if you're using the two-handed L1 combo, it does like such a big stagger. Oh, sorry, this guy throws fire bombs. This room is full of explosive battles, so that's why we rush him as quick as possible before he can blow the entire room up. But yes, the twin blades, other than doing like fantastic damage with high dexterity, this guy on the left here, watch out for him, they do have like a really good like sort of stun. Well, it's not a stun, you know what I mean, like it's more like a stagger. Weaker enemies will be interrupted with a combo, with an L1 combo anyway. This here in this cage here in this prison his name is Grey Rat. He does become a merchant, and we are just showing you here where he is because it's a part of High Wall of Lothric. You do need the key. I've forgotten what the key is called. I'm going to say, let's just call it the tower key, to get in here and rescue him, but we don't get that for a wee bit. But don't worry, we will come back as soon as we get him. This door here also does need a key to open that we don't have access to yet, but I'm just showing you where it is because we can come and do the two of them at the same time, hopefully, and cross that off the list. Right, so that's that. Just wanted to show you that. We're heading back up the stairs now to the bonfire. We're out of Essus and out of health, so it's time to rest and replenish all of that. So that was good. That was good progress. Everything will respawn now, but we've done a lot of like big side bits that we don't now need to redo, so definitely worth it. Heading back down here through this door here, it takes you to an outside bit. Watch out for these guys climbing over the wall. There's one on the wall there, and then we got the two guys down there. And then this guy coming up here, up the ladder. So if you are first to hit them, you'll have a great time. But if you do want to take your time and sort of back up through the doorway, you can like pincer them. Is that what it's called? Pincer? It just makes me think of 300, where they're like, yeah, we'll just force them through a narrow doorway. What Charlie's pointing to here with her sword, if you can see her pointing, this guy in the middle, he is a Pus of Man. So if we leave him too long, he is going to transform into the same thing that was poisoning Urix Gundyr. So we don't really want him to do that. Makes it so much harder. So we've equipped our fire bombs again, just in case he does transform. But if you rush him, you can see him. He sort of stands out. He's like at the top there. There he goes. He's a way to stand up and he's a way to transform. But we can kill him like super easily. And we don't have to deal with the much, much harder version of that enemy. Some firebombs there, definitely worth picking up. You'll see why later. We did get a raw gem, which is a rare drop there. Which we're not going to use on this character. That would be like, oh, another, wait, we got two. That would be, so raw increases your weapon's like raw damage, funnily enough, but it takes away any scaling. And because we're in this for the long run and we're planning on leveling up our dexterity, we want scaling. This crystal lizard also has a raw gem, so if you're not too bothered, I mean, you don't need to stress about getting it, but you may as well get it. And a wee soul there for you to pick up as well. This area is a speedrun skip. You can do not try and drop down here without the necessary tactics. Don't worry about the necessary tactics. Don't even know why I mentioned that. We're going to take the ladder like normal heckin' players. Couple options here. We can go along the roof, get this shiny. You can safely drop down from here if you so wish, but don't, because there's other things to get. We got some crossbowmen. The easiest way to deal with this little bunch is to rush this other crossbowman and then get these two lads while they're sort of disorientated from jumping over the balcony. More firebombs to pick up. Very good. This ladder here, we're not going to go down there yet. That takes us, again, that's another way of getting down into this courtyard. We're not going to take this way. We've got another way. There is a wingless, I make myself laugh. There's a wingless winged knight down there that's going to be quite tricky. So we're going to just make sure that we're approaching that from the right angle. Aha! A guy hiding in the pots. Make sure you don't roll through the pots. You attack the pots and you'll get the drop on him. Through here, there's another guy waiting to stab you in the back as you pick up this shiny. Titanite shard, very important that you come through here and pick up these Titanite shards. They have got a low chance, well, it's a fairly decent chance to drop from the Lothric Knights in this area as well, so hopefully you do pick up a few of them. But definitely get the ones that are guaranteed, because leveling up your weapons, especially the twin blades here, has a hilarious effect on our damage. It's like crazy. The difference between a plus zero, a base and a +1 is nuts. So here is our mortal enemy. This guy is harder than Unix Guntier and the first boss, Vordt of the Boreal Valley. Combined, he's just such a bumder. So again, the tactic, I'm afraid, is just try and get behind him for a backstab. There's not really much else we can do with this build. You can throw firebombs at him, but there's much better ways we can use those firebombs. And again, you don't even really need to kill him. Just for completionism's sake, I feel like learning to kill them is a good thing. Learning the window for getting the backstabs is gonna be useful for the rest of the game. It's just, they're just such a pain in the bum. It's the shield bash. Okay, it's a good opportunity when he's two-handing to get a few shots in, because at least he can't block you. But first and foremost, you want to concentrate on staying alive, you know. So yeah, this one does take us a while, but that's because, like I said, we're trying to just show off that these guys are tricky. You do not want to underestimate them, but the easiest way to do them is to get behind them, which is taking us a wee while. Oh, I thought that was it. Oh man, it's just... It's not even painful to watch, because it's just like, I'm there too. I'm there with her, you know? And you're probably there with her too. If you have any helpful hints and tips about these Lothric Knights, particularly these spear ones, I'd love to hear them in the comments below, because they are just so annoying, especially for this build. I mean, if you have like a sword and board build, it's maybe a different story, because you can parry, you can kick, I suppose. I mean, we could kick him, but we wouldn't get very far. Watch out for this guy! Or that will happen. Lots of little ambushes. What did I say at the start of this area? You just want to move through room to room very slowly. So let's get back to where we died there. I'm going to show you a much smoother kill of this guy here. This goes very, very well, this attempt. I think she's just, yeah, we're taking out this guy just so he can't shoot us in the back. Very wise. The other one won't move, don't worry. But yeah, in here, so this is a much more aggressive attempt at this Lothric Knight, and it goes a lot better. So if you'll see, we roll round. We do get the backstab. Rolling right through the shields. The only problem with rolling is that it takes us so far away from the character, from the enemy, sorry. There we go. So we get the backstab. And then we're able to wait just a beat for him to start standing up, because he is invulnerable for a few seconds after a backstab. And then we have enough stamina to finish him off. So that was much smoother. That's how you do it. But just in case you can't do it that way, there's two options. So in there, we could pick up a broadsword. Good, it's quite raw weapon for starting out. Not very good for like late game. Down this staircase takes you into this room, but this room kind of sucks. So here's a way to tackle it a little smarter. If you break through these wagon wheels and barrels here, you can go around the rooftops. Well, it's not a roof, is it? Around the attic space of this room. There's a wee chest here with a Soda's straight sword in it. Good faith weapon. I don't know if it does lightning damage in this game. But historically, always a faith scaling weapon. And there's a wee bit here that we can drop down if we want. But we don't want. What we want to do is we want to tactfully try and take out as many of these nerds in this room as we can, starting with the dogs. That pile there of barrels are explosive barrels, so if we did manage to, say, throw a firebomb at them, it would explode. It's not got a huge area of effect, but if there was anything near them, it would damage them greatly. So what we're doing is, we focus on the dog, and then we were trying to get these guys, which have a decent amount of HP, but more so, it just sucks fighting them together. I think this is, we're trying to hit the barrels here. It's quite difficult to free aim, and obviously we've not got infinite firebombs. This is sad. Look. Oh, it's sad. But we're using them where we can. Even if we don't kill them, we're just trying to get their health down so that we can take them out one by one. Much easier than if they all ganged up on us, if we jumped straight down. Because there's a couple pickups in this room. You can't just skip this room. You can't just run through it. The pickups are too important. So we're just waiting for him to come down the stairs. Maybe hit him. We've got 3 firebombs left. If you don't have this many firebombs, don't worry. I'll show you another tactic for dealing with this room as well. It mainly involves rolling and panicking. But we'll come to that in a bit. So he's run out. Goodness knows where he's gone. We've got 1 firebomb left. There is a dog just underneath us. You can kind of see him there, guarding something that we need. Something that we need very, very much. So what we're going to do, we're going to wait for... We are waiting to see if this guy comes back, but he doesn't seem to be coming back. We know where our exits are, which is very good advice, If you're entering into a sticky situation, always know where your exit is, but if you need to make a brave Sir Robin run away. But I think we're going to just head and... Oh, no, that's right. Wait till he leaves. Then we're going to go for the guy up here who is just coming back. Beautiful. She does die. It was a beautiful idea. Executed imperfectly. So the sad thing about this is it did use most of our firebombs, but if you are turbo careful, I think we just got a little bit impatient there at the very end. If we had just waited for him to come back, throw in the final firebomb, things might have gone differently. But when you're recording these things, your head's in a million places. So we don't hold it against her. That is a solid tactic. If you have already picked up the longbow, if you did go exploring at the very start of High Wall of Lothric and you went right instead of left. Why did you just throw that, Charlie? What are you throwing it at? What is she doing? Then you will already have the longbow, and you can 100% use that to your advantage here and take out the enemies in this room using the longbow. Hindsight is a wonderful, wonderful thing, isn't it, friends? Okay, so here is how to do this room without any firebombs. And like I said, it mainly involves running and rolling and panicking. So definitely one of the first things we want to do is probably put a couple of leveling up points into HP. just for these kind of sticky situations. We probably don't want to be fighting guys like this with wide sweeping attacks in such a narrow corridor, but this does have the advantage of, like, at least we're only fighting this guy. There's only the one of them, so it is a valid place to stand and fight. To hold your ground and start to actually clear this room. Oh, there's a chest there. Silver Eagle Kite Shield. So if you are thinking, nah man, I'm just going to use a shield just for problem areas like this, totally valid. There's one for free. Hopefully you've got the strength to use it. We did manage to get one of the dogs with our plunging attack. I'd say the dogs are definitely the ones to focus on as you're entering the fight from above. Watch out, there's another one just down the ramp there. What we're going to do first is head to this anvil, pick up the Estus shard. That will get us another heal, or another, I guess, mana potion, if you're using them, in our Estus, which is fantastic. So yeah, you can't really miss that. And then down here we have the cell key. So this is to open Grey Rat's cell. So we will go back and do that eventually. Not at the minute, but I mean, there's no advantages to doing it at the minute. We'll do it eventually. Don't worry. Don't stress. And yeah, those were the two very important things in this room that was worth having a clear head to pick up. This is another Titanite shard, which actually, do you know what? That's on par with importance. So yeah, definitely pick up that as well. Because like I mentioned, our weapons, if we can get them to +1 or even +2, are going to do so much more damage. So here is our wingless winged knight, our fallen angel friend. He's large. He hits like an absolute truck. We are putting some armor on for this, just in case. Because the difference between wearing armor and not wearing armor is quite substantial in this game. So yes, we are wearing some armor for this guy, just in case. If we drop down here, first of all, there's a wee rapier to pick up. We're not going to use it, but it's now in our possession. And around this sort of central like fountain, there's a few embers to pick up, but try not to be too distracted. But try not to be too distracted by them, Charlie, because the winged knight here is sort of wanting you to do that, so he can catch up on you and spin to win in your chin. So yeah, time your rolls, get behind him. He is, like I said, he's quite slow. So getting the backstab on him, super easy. Once he's recovering from the backstab, you can either take the opportunity to heal, or wait a beat and then open up with an L1 combo. Yeah, waiting a beat, very important, because they do have that little bit of immunity just after the backstab. And you're just wasting your stamina at that point. So here he comes. We're only one backstab away from killing this guy. Look, couple mistimed rolls there, and then of course panic sets in, and he's now doing his medical, his heckin' spears of light, and it's just all a bit of a mess. But do you know what? Other than the death part, that went really well. Right, round 2 fight. We could have gotten a plunging attack on him. He was probably close enough, but our focus is on grabbing those souls, because there's quite a lot of them, and you can do quite a lot with 5,000 souls this early in the game. So back to trying to backstab the winged knight, waiting a beat and then getting a wee 2 hits in. Yeah, it's pretty tidy. And let's back up. You can kind of use the stairs here, get him trapped there. Plenty of time to heal and sort of reposition. Get behind him. I do like how if you're just a little bit off, the game is just like, oh, here you go, here's the back. Here you go, it kind of snaps. And we did get another shard from him, which is men. So now we're free to actually pick up the Estus. Estus? No, the other ones. Embers. Free to pick up the embers. Unaccosted. Now this guy does come to life, and that guy does jump over the edge there, so be aware of that. We're just showing you this ladder. Remember the bit with the 2 fiery bolty crossbow lads that I said you had to rush? That is how this area all connects up. This ladder is another way of getting down to the wingless winged knight. So that's, there you go. There's a lot of ways that you can approach running through this area. If you start to learn it better, you will learn how to, you know, skip parts of it to run through it. Don't go on the left here, that's the way to the boss. If you turn around and go right, take out this guy. this leads straight back up to a shortcut from the bonfire, from the first bonfire, actually. So we're no longer using the second one. Imagine if, like, we survived the big winged knight and then died to a little nerd there. We're going to jump off this rooftop. Was that foreshadowing? I don't know. Jump to this rooftop to grab this ring. You jump with great skill, Charlie. You jump with L3 in this game, which, being a Dark Souls 1 nerd, I never seem to get the hang of. But yeah, you hold circle to run and then L3. Pick a ring of sacrifice. So these are really cool if you are, say, running around with a ton of souls, or even better, if you have lost your souls and you question your ability to get back to your bloodstain safely, and therefore, you know, you're scared to lose your bloodstain, you can wear the ring of sacrifice and it will give you another chance to recover your bloodstain if you do die on the way to it. If you die with souls wearing the ring, you simply don't lose the souls. You simply don't make a bloodstain. So, yeah, it's good. However, it's also good for money. If you sell it, it's worth 2,000 souls. So, I mean, arguably, that's just as precious. I don't know. I always, personally, it's one of those things where, you know, that trope, that video game meme that's like, oh, something really precious. Watch me never use it. I better save that for later and never use it. So this, you might recognize. Oh, watch out for that big guy. Go for the little guy first. Always go for the little guy first. The big guy's big and slow. We'll wait on him recovering. Yeah, so this is right back at the first bonfire. Back when there was a left path and a right path. We picked the left path. And this is how it all connects up. This is now the right path. Sorry, my brain. We went left. Now this is right, but it's actually from the left. Don't worry about it. All you know is the bonfire's just around the corner here, and that's good. That's what we want. We're sort of taking our time, showing you that there are some more dogs. God damn that dog. So annoying. Like, literally, like, oh my god. Do you know what? It is just this build, because if you do have a shield, they're actually no bother at all. A shield and a spear. Dogs are no bother. It's literally just the twin blades. It's not... It's got weaknesses, you know. Up here we'd have another Pus of Man. Pus of Piss. Right here. And we were a little bit slow in remembering which one it was. So... There's a couple ways to deal with this situation. Number one, heckin' run. Simply leave. Valid strategy. You can rest at a bonfire and then our Pus of Piss will be back to normal. And if you kill him before he transforms, he's super easy. He's a piece of piss. But if you let him transform into a Pus of Piss, he's actually quite difficult. We are going to let him transform because... he's not impossible, so we'll show you how to deal with them, which it's always good to try and push yourself in the easier areas of the game, because if you get into the mentality of like, oh no, that's too hard, I'm just going to skip it, you're going to carry that mentality with you through the whole game. And in a game like Dark Souls 3, you are going to struggle, I think, with that mentality. So if you want to try this guy out, you'll probably find he's not too bad if you just know a bit of confidence. Not cockiness, bit of confidence. Flippin' dogs are harder. Literally, these dogs are harder than this Pus of Man, so that might be encouraging. If you have any fire bombs remaining, or black fire bombs, you can buy some. They are ludicrously good against Pus of Men. If you had the fire gem and from the starting gift and you put that into your weapon and you have a fire weapon, again, excuse me, very, very good against Pus of Men. They get sort of scared by the fire. They take more damage from fire and then they get sort of scared and stunned and they sort of roll around on the ground, which is really good. But we don't. We don't have any fire bombs. We used them all, so we're gonna use our twin blades, but it's okay. It's okay. It's not too bad. So la da da. I don't know that one of these transforms. I said I don't know one of these transforms. Oh, there we go. Okay, so he's gonna do us a solid and take out that last one just there. And here's how you fight them. They are zippy, but much like Unix Gundyr, you just want to try and keep rolling, keep strafing around to the right. This one's a much faster, I feel, than Gundyr. So you want to sort of almost limit yourself to one hit. So roll to get in, hit, roll to get out. Wait a minute. Because obviously your stamina, keep an eye on your stamina. Also, just grow an extra pair of eyes and just keep an eye on everything while you're at it. Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to heal here. He does get stuck in the wall here, which would be cool if we had any fire bombs, but we don't. Great opportunity to heal if you need it. But yeah, so we're going to roll in, get a hit, roll out, get another hit. Oh, out of stamina, so we're going to get some distance, let that recover, roll in. Try and roll through attacks, obviously against them, not with them. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Probably, we got enough to maybe... Yeah, there we go. I was going to say, we might have wanted to heal there because another hit would have killed us. Like, if we ever take a hit and it does more than 50% of our health, we want to back off and heal. But yep, that's it. So that's how you can kill them. They're not too bad, but they are harder than if you hadn't let them transform. On the ground there, very important, longbow and some arrows. In the previous part of this walkthrough, we did purchase some arrows, I think about 60 of them, from the merchant in the Firelink Shrine. We are going to use these arrows with this longbow, which we are more than capable of using thanks to our high dexterity character, to kill a dragon. We're going to go dragon slaying, which is fantastic because not only does that get us... Well, actually, do you know what? Actually, Rachel, okay, we're not going to kill it. You can't kill it yet. You can't kill it. We're going to make it fly away. We're going to take the dragon's treasure, okay? We're going to go dragon tickling rather than dragon slaying with these arrows. We're not too sure if we have enough arrows, and spoiler alert, turns out we don't. You are going to want to take about 100 arrows. We have 20 dexterity, if I'm not mistaken. We are just going to make sure here. You want to take about 100 arrows for this dragon, and that is to account for missing... what needs smithing this day? So we did pick up an Estus Flash shard, pop that into Andre, increases number of uses. We don't have to use a lot because we're just keeping them all in healing. Take our Titanite shards over to reinforce weapon. We can get them to +2. Obviously some of these Titanite shards were random drops, so if you didn't get enough to get to +2, that's a shame, but don't panic. Like +1 is still absolutely solid for our first, or technically second boss, so don't worry. But we got really lucky on drops for Titanite shards, for sure. Coming over here, yes, I keep wanting to say Malentia. It's not Malentia, that's Dark Souls 2. We're just going to buy enough to get us to 100. So we've got 105. Sorry, not 100. I'm an idiot. That was the souls. I know for a fact, guys, that we've got about 100. Because we had 60 and we just bought about 30-ish. So... Yes, we got 20 dexterity. So with that amount of dex, it takes about 100 arrows. So there you go. We're putting some points into vigor and some points into endurance. So endurance, obviously, mainly affecting our stamina. It does affect our carry weight as like an extra thing, but like that doesn't really affect us because we're not really wearing armor most of the time. But yeah, stamina. Stamina's a big deal for us because we are doing big combos with these weapons. And the more stamina we have, it's actually more important than anything else because if you can hit an extra time, that does much more damage than hitting slightly more each time. Oh, well, I'm sure it does for now. I'm sure, yeah. I'm actually Rachel. Listen. Stamina is good. It's still quite low. We'll want to get that. Probably at least another 10 stamina. I'm not actually sure what we'll cap at for this playthrough. I would have said maybe 30 for a twin blade build. I am rambling. We are back here now. I hope you were paying attention to the route that we took because I was thinking about stamina. And health. We put a couple points into health because we were dying a wee bit. Like I said, taking a bit of chip damage, which is huge when you're not wearing any armor. So yeah, a couple points into health. We will look to put more points into health as well. Probably quite soon. But at the minute, 20 dex, pretty good. Okay, equip our longbow. 92 arrows, guys. There you go, 92. And we also have the 12 big arrows that we picked up with the longbow. You want to... don't free aim. You want to reticule aim? What do you call this? And if you hit the dragon's body, it will deal a set amount of damage. But if you hit the dragon's head, it will deal critical damage. I think it's like 25 to 50% more damage. Anyway, it does more damage if you hit the head, but the head is harder to hit. So this, as you can see, is going to take a while. You're better to probably just hit the body, in my opinion, because then at least you know that every shot is going to count. Let's just skip to the part where he gets to, I think it's about 20% health, and flies away. Alright, so with that, we do get a large Titanite shard, just like appears in our bag. Dragon be like, hey, sorry about that. Throws us a wee gem and flies away. Which is cool. Also, just sort of highlighting here the part we were standing in. Probably should have showed you that before we opened fire, but never mind. That's what it is. That's where we were standing. And we are free to help ourselves to the dragon's loot. Over here is a club. Then we have an ember. And in the back, my personal favourite, you know, being a Scotswoman, the claymore. I love the claymore. Again, if you're like not really loving the twin blade moveset, the twin blade sort of... I would say vulnerability. I don't know. If you're not digging the twins, maybe you'll dig the clay. I love it. I think it's great. Great moveset. Decent damage. Not that great scaling, but it's got charm, you know. But that was the Dragon's Treasures. Definitely worth picking up. I guess for completionism's sake, it does give you much easier access to that room underneath it. But you don't have to. Yeah, you really don't have to. Okay, so we've headed back to the bonfire just to rest up. We don't need our bow anymore, or these bolts, or, I mean, we don't really need the arrows anymore either. Keeping the armor on. Interesting. So, gold pine resin, I mentioned, is going to be really good for this boss that we're about to head to. It applies lightning to your right-hand weapon. In particular, it adds a set amount of lightning. So this is not influenced by any of your stats. It is just a pure flat damage increase. And if the boss is like weak to lightning, then it's, you know, it's increased again and the boss will take more damage from your hits. So this coupled with the fact that we did get our twin blades to +2, we're going to be doing really good damage to Vordt. So once again, remember we got this shortcut unlocked. This is our fast way down to the boss. This guy decides to drop on by. These guys can like follow you down the elevator and be a pain in the bum, but thankfully it didn't on this occasion. A small tip, we know that we're heading for a boss, so what we want to do before we step off the elevator is just make sure that we step on the button to send it back upwards. It's going to save us a bit of bother if we do die and we are coming down, especially if it's like several times, and especially because there are big nerds up there with big weapons that are going to be chasing us, you know? So it's a good idea just to send the elevator back up. Your future self will thank you, especially if you're starting to get frustrated from multiple subsequent deaths on a boss. You'll be like, oh, thank God, the elevator at least is here. Oh, look, it's our best friend again. And we do get a very quick backstab. Way to beat. And in, oh, with the, oh, Charlie, man. Oh, beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. This one here has a long sword, so not quite as annoying as the spear, but similarly, it is just, oh, they're just tough to get behind. We could just start wailing on them and hope that we break the guard, but I honestly don't think we have the stamina for it. You can use the stairs to your advantage, because obviously if they have the high ground, quite often their attacks can go over your head, so that's valid. That's something that I quite like to do for these guys. Charlie likes going fishing, which again is super valid because we don't really have much else of a choice. There we go. So the knight two-handed his sword, which does mean he sort of stops in place for a little bit. We were able to eke around the side and get the backstab. I think once you get the backstab, you've got them, but getting it is the hard part, obviously. There is another one up here, which is a bit of a narrower area, so a bit more difficult to fight in. But that's okay, because by this point, you know, we killed so many of these, we're a pro. There we go. We're a pro. Way to beat and combo. Nice. Really nice. This is a Lucerne. Oh, again, which just like demon souls, man. I love that these things have just like made their way through the entire series. Oh, up here. Okay. Ooh. Right. This is again a Demon Souls reference. A Red Eyes Knight. Red Eyes Blue Knight. Oh man. This guy's kind of tough. If you are sneaky, you can backstab him, but we unfortunately miss it. Just before you get close to him, you can get backstab if you sort of like, the game sort of teleports you to him, like it did for us before with the Winged Knight. This guy is like your Lothric Knights, but if he does hit you, it's much harder. It's going to hit you much harder. So do be just a little bit more careful with these guys. Try not to take too much chip damage. This guy's probably the reason we kept our armor on, actually, now that I think about it. So we can get a little stun by hitting him when he's got his weapon in one hand, but if he's two-handing his weapon, he is going to be much harder to interrupt. This guy does have a buff. I don't know what the buff is called, but it does make him hit harder. So if you see him start casting, it's like a sort of like a powery kind of heckin' charge attack. You've got my permission to wail on him. Try not to let him buff. It does make him easier to hit because obviously he's standing there charging up. But you know, obviously he's then going to hit you harder. In here, do not hit this lady. She's lovely. She's Emma. She did nothing to hurt no one. Emma, if there is one NPC that you should not kill early anyway, it's Emma. If you kill this boss, it will trigger a very late game fight with a boss in this room that you are not prepared for yet. This is my one and only warning. Please don't kill Emma. Okay. But you do need to speak to her though, so get your trigger finger under control. You do need to speak to her to get the banner, which will allow us to get to the next area after we kill the boss, which is, if we turn around, it's at the bottom of the stairs. So at the minute we're at the top of the stairs, we have to go here to get the banner. We're going to turn around and go to the bottom of the stairs to kill the boss and to use the banner. So Emma's giving us some lore that I'm ignoring about the Way of Blue. So that's our first covenant. So you equip a covenant like an item in this game, which is a change that I do quite like because you can switch between them really easily whenever you like. We're going to turn around and go back. At the minute we have, yeah, Charlie's thinking the same as me. We have one Estus. So we are not going to do Vordt with one Estus. But the good news is we've done all the hard guys at the top of the stairs now, so all we have to do is go back to the bottom of the stairs and go for the boss. So are we going to pop these into HP is my guess? I have watched this. This isn't my first time watching this. HP. Yeah, that's what I would do. Definitely. Because Vordt has some combos, has some charge, like sort of combos that if they do hit you, they can do, like if they hit you point blank, I think it could be still a one-shot with this HP, so definitely getting a bit more HP is a good idea. We have a new NPC in this area now, triggered by our exploration of the High Wall of Lothric, and this is Leonhardt. So he is tied to the fingers, which in this game is kind of like the Dark Wraiths, the invading kind of covenant in this game. So he gives you the breadcrumbs to sort of start that quest line if you want to level up in that covenant. He gives you some red eye orbs, which you can use to invade other players. So if you do use them and invade other players, you can progress his quest line. But also you can completely ignore them and you can still progress his quest line. So it's optional, but if you did want to get, say, that door opened that I mentioned that you need a key for in High Wall of Lothric, that's, you know, I mean, that's how you do that. We're heading to the merchant, selling some souls to her, which is much faster than eating them or popping them, whatever you want to call it, to get enough to get one more level, which was a fantastic idea. Just for one more level in vigor. 15 is looking really, really nice. So that's us level 20 now. Before our first boss, or second if you can. Do you count Gundyr as the first boss? I kind of call him the tutorial boss, and to me Vordt is the first boss, but yeah, we are looking really, really good for Vordt at this stage, guys. So that's where we are heading now. Teleporting, High Wall of Lothric, taking the right-hand path, getting this guy just for the hell of it. Don't want him stabbing us in the back. And then dropping down here, through the hole in the wall, down here, hopefully avoiding Great Axe Man. This lift is already here because thank you, past self. And we are going to send it back up on our way. So just wait for the button and then run across it. Perfect. You can ignore these guys or you can take them out, whichever one to you seems the most safe. But do roll down here a bit at a time. Don't jump all the way down because you will take damage. Right, there's a couple guys on the stairs here. You're free to ignore them if you want. They're really slow moving. Or I guess you can take out some of that pent-up rage from fighting the Lothric Knights. Take it out on these guys because these guys are much easier. So you can take them out if you like. But in here, in this room, as soon as we get a certain distance into the room, is our boss fight is going to start. So we've got our gold pine resin ready. We do have 2 of them. We don't want to waste them though. If you do think, oh sugar, I kind of need a bit more practice at this boss, my advice is not to use your gold pine resin right away, because you kind of waste it if you are unconfident with this boss's moveset, with his speed, and with his frostbite and all sorts. So I would say my advice is, if you are semi-confident, use the gold pine resin. If you are not confident, don't use it. Just have a couple of tries. It doesn't take long to get back here. And every time you fight him, you'll get a little bit better each time. And then when you think, right, okay, I'm starting to get it, then you use the limited consumables. Because you don't want to kick yourself wasting it. Right, so gold pine resin is on. The key with Vordt is staying underneath him or around the back of him. You want to hug those chunky chicken thighs, okay? The thing is though, he doesn't want to stay in one place. He's for a big guy, he's very agile. He's very jumpy. But we don't want to be anywhere near the front of him. So just make sure you're always trying to get around the behind. I mean, that goes for any boss, really. It just feels like regurgitated advice at this point. But more so with this guy, yeah. Underneath him is the safest place to be. If you have created some distance between you, there's a couple ways that he can close gaps. He had a jump there. Here we are entering a phase transition. So he's immediately going to do this 3 charges. Here he comes. So his head goes down and then he charges for you. And he will do that 3 times. Oh, the music, guys. From here, again, we want to just keep trying to get behind him. He does now have a frostbite, like breath move as well. But it's the charges, really, that you do want to be frightened of. So when you see his head go down, like so, easiest way to avoid them is literally by rolling straight into him. Because if you roll back, he's going to hit you, and if you roll to the side, you run the risk. He's big. He's a big hitbox, so safest place to be. Once again, underneath him. He gave us quite a big, like, tell. Is that the word? Quite a big tell that he was going to do that charge last time, but this time, I don't know if you saw that there, he just goes straight into it, which is why we always want to try and be behind him if possible. This is such a big wind up. This frost breath gives you loads of time to get in behind him and get a few hits in. We take our time because we're trying to show off, you know, trying to show off all the moves. But his like close range charge is the only one that is actually like not super telegraphed. That's the word. Everything else is quite well telegraphed, especially if you're hanging near the arse. You'll be absolutely fine. That one there, that charge that just comes out of nowhere, and especially if he gets you down on the ground and you're just recovering and then he does it again and then again, it's just the worst. But the good news is, after he does that charge, he nearly always does his frost breath, which is very, very easy to punish. So hopefully you recovered on time to take advantage of that. Anyway, that was Vordt. Again, I think he is a boss that appears harder than he actually is. He's not that bad, but again, I do think it just requires a bit of practice. You have unlocked quite a good shortcut from the bonfire that you can just run straight back down here, so I'd give him a few goes, and then when you're feeling confident, pop that pine resin and GG. That was the High Wall of Lothric. Obviously there are a few other things here. Obviously we had our pal Grey Rat in his cell. We've got another locked door that we don't have the key to open yet, and we have the other boss around about near Emma. We're not going to do that for a very long time, but yeah, just that's us done with this area for now. But there are obviously still things. We'll be coming back here later. So for now, thank you so much for watching. I do hope you take the time to like the video because it does help us out a lot. Subscribe to see the next part in the walkthrough. Take care of yourselves, don't you dare go hollow, and I hope to see you in the next video.